Hello everyone and welcome to my channel MoreToChess. The first stage of 2021 Grand Chess Tour Superbet Chess Classic has started today, having 10 players including 8 top players. In this video I covered the game between Shakhriyar Mamedyarov with white and Wesley So with black. Here Mamedyarov starts with d4, Wesley played d5, knight to f3, knight f6, c4, and here black played d takes c4, the queen's gambit declined. White plays e3, the standard move, and e6. Instead of e6, protecting the c4 pawn by the move b5 is not good because we all know the move a4 attacking b5. Now if a6, then a cross b5, a cross b5 and attacking the rook. So c6, it is also not very good because a takes b5, c takes b5, and now b3. You cannot take the pawn because of bishop cross b5 check and also taking this pawn too. And if b cross c5, then b cross c5, and white will get back his pawn with slightly better position. So it is generally not played. e6, and now bishop takes c4, a6 with the idea of b5 with tempo. Now black castles. Now c5 with the idea of b5 with tempo attacking the bishop, and then c4 creating majority. Here white has 4 popular choices. The most popular choice here is a4 preventing b5. The other is bishop to b3 meeting the move b5 with d takes c5. And now the third move is queen to e2 with the idea of rook to d1. If b5, then bishop to b3. And the last one which played in the game, d takes c5. Wesley played this move. Now bishop takes c5. This move resulting in the losing of castling rights for black. The best move here is to take the queen first and then after take this pawn. But Wesley instead played the move bishop cross c5 first. I think here Wesley intentionally trying to put his opponent out of his opening preparation. Now Mamedyarov played queen cross d8 check, king cross d8, and white played bishop to e2 avoiding the b5 tempo move for black. Now king to e7 with attempt to develop the rook on d8 square, rook to d1, black played knight b to d7, and knight to d4, a very logical move preventing b5, since after b5 knight c6 check, you cannot go to the d6 square. Now king to e8 and b4 attacking the bishop, and white is clearly better here. So knight d4, black played knight e5 covering this c6 square. Now b3 trying to develop his bishop from b7, bishop to d7 with knight c6 ideas trying to exchange the knights, bishop b2 and knight to c6. Here white played knight c6, bishop c6 and rook to c1 attacking this bishop, bishop to b4 and knight to a3 with the idea of playing knight c4, then knight e5 attacking the bishop, knight d7 preventing knight e5, and here white cannot take the pawn because of the move rook to g8 attacking this g2 pawn. So white played knight c4 with the idea of knight e5 in the future. Now bishop d5 attacking the knight, a3 attacking the bishop, bishop to c5, bishop d6 is not good because white will definitely exchange, b4 attacking the bishop again, bishop a7, and now knight a5 with the threat of rook to c7 threatening to take this pawn and also pinning the king, rook h to c8, black wants to trade, bishop d3 with the threat of playing e4 and bishop c6, then knight c6, so f5 preventing e4. Now bishop c4. Here white bishop is not doing much, so Mamedyarov wants to exchange his bishop. Bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, and now b5 attacking the knight, knight to a5. Now white is threatening to take on the g7, g6, king to f1 moving the king towards center since the endgame has already started, bishop to b6 since the knight is better than this bishop, so black wants to trade, knight to b3 with the idea of playing knight d4. Now black played e5 preventing knight d4, king to e2, rook takes c1, rook takes c1, and now rook a7 trying to exchange the rook from c7 square. Now e4, the strategy is to put all the pawns on the light square since both sides have the dark square bishop. Now rook c7, rook takes, bishop takes, and the last pair of rooks are also exchanged. Now f3, putting all the pawns on light square, king to e6, getting the king closer to the center. White played bishop to c1, activating this bishop via this diagonal. Now f4, shutting off the diagonal. g3, attacking this f4 pawn. Now g5, supporting f4, and white plays g4, closing the position himself. Now bishop to b6. Now this bishop takes the only active diagonal in the position. h3, king to d6, king d3, bishop to f2. Now king e2, attacking the bishop, bishop b6, king d3 again, and now bishop g1, bishop to b2, hitting this pawn. Now knight b6 with the idea of playing knight c4, knight a5, preventing knight c4. Now knight a4, attacking this bishop, bishop a1. Now this is important move since it takes all the squares from the knight and also the bishop. So bishop to b6, attacking the knight, and white played knight to b3. Now here in this position, white is unable to exploit the dark square pawn weaknesses in the black camp since the bishop is already busy blocking this knight and the bishop. So black played bishop to e3, now bishop c3, bishop b6 again, bishop a1 again, bishop e3, and the game ended in a draw by threefold repetition. So today all the games of round 1 resulted in a draw, and so far I have covered 3 games. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.